Off for another load of lumber. Actually off for supper right now. I'm gonna pick up that load, I think about 7:30 tonight. The guy's gonna get it made up, loaded up. So we decided to go with just a wood floor. The steel ones were, hold on a second here. Okay, the steel ones were $2,100. They did have a 2-foot lip, which would have been nice, right? And that little bit extra, but they're not available, right? They're a month out. And of course, we're gonna probably have these full within a month. So we had to do something. I did look into hoppers a while back, and I think they were like $5,600. And then he said the new stock was gonna be more yet. So I'm assuming over $5,600. I'm not 100% sure how much, but here's the old floor. I don't think we're going to worry about putting that metal, whatever you want to call that, around it again. The other thing too is the bins, because the floor fell apart like this, and we filled them a couple of years like that, they got a bit crinkled, so we're going to have to bang them out. And it's actually easier to form them to a wood floor if they're a bit bent on the bottom than to try to make them fit on a steel floor. But all that being said, this was $1,300, I think Corey figured it out to be. So still $900 or whatever, cheaper, $800 cheaper than a steel floor. And it's gonna outlast the life of the bin. We didn't go with treated plywood, but treated 2x6s, and then we're gonna put we've painted them before, and then we've also taken like used oil and painted it around the edges and stuff. That's actually what I did with my molasses skid too. I put a bit of used oil on top of it, and that kind of does wick the water away for sure. So, but that's enough. I think we knocked that out in about 2.5 hours. I was on the phone all morning with other things, and Corey and the kids were off doing some other things as well, a bit of summer camp stuff, and then so we really didn't get started till after lunch. But and then we had a few rain breaks because it's wet here now, like unbelievably wet, right? The weatherman, he about 5-6 days ago, he said it was gonna rain, and then 2-3 days ago he said it wasn't gonna rain. So then I swapped my peas, and that's almost a guarantee that it's gonna rain if you do that. So, and it did, and boy did it ever rain. So will be nothing more happening. Everybody's heading in for supper, and then that'll be it. Friday evening. So well, good afternoon now. It's Sunday, so I don't know how many days we're gonna go through here to make this video, but we got a rain. What did we get that we got that Friday night? Friday morning, I guess it started raining. And look how fast that grew. Like the grass, I think it grew an inch within about 10 minutes of getting the rain. It's really nice here now today. We were in town, the local fair was on, so of course a little town like ours, it's usually not a huge event, right? There's not a million things to do, but there's a few things to do. There's a parade, and there's some bouncy castles and things like that, so we were in there. We've been plowing away at these bins, built these bin floors. This one is on the floor. But the worst part about it, I mean, actually the majority of the floor is pretty good. Where it did rot away here, there was some stiffeners about right here and about right here. Those fell through the wood. Of course, made a hole. The grain would leak out of there. That's why there's that rag stuck in there. You do what you can just to kind of get by until you get the time to do it. But when you try to put it on a new floor, it's all crinkled up. So we were kind of trying to beat it straight with a hammer. But how do you beat the corrugated parts back to be corrugated? It's almost impossible to do. You'd have to like have the machine that did it and run it back through, and even then it would be difficult. So we got it in the shop here now, and what we found that we had, fortunately enough, years ago, 10 plus years ago, my wife had bought a bin package that was kind of damaged from a bin selling place, and it just came with various pieces of tin. But it was offered up to her, and she's like, yeah, no, we'll take it. We'll probably use it. And it sat there for, well, till yesterday. We didn't even know these were in it, but they're the same corrugation, like the same distance and everything. The holes are the same spot apart, and they're about 10 inches, and there was about 5 to 6 inches of this one that was bad. So what we did was just took an angle grinder and we cut to back to where it was good. And then now we're going to bolt this on, and we will have a functioning piece again. Good morning. And holy smokes, she's like damp. So we did take a bit yesterday, and we went off to the Hythe Fair there. That was a good time. It's nice to visit with some of the neighbors, check out some of the stuff. I didn't actually have a slice of pie, but normally that's a pretty big part of it. Then we got right back here. So we haven't harvested anything. We did swath about 320 acres of peas to try to get them to dry down, because there's still quite a bit of green out in them. We don't want to desiccate because of some of the buyers that we use prefer them not to be desiccated. That's pretty much the simplest way to put that. There's quite a bit around desiccating. Is it good for you? Is it not good for you? So on and so forth. While we try not to get like too into that argument, we just kind of concede, right? It's customer is always right, and the customer is the one who's buying the peas, and if they don't want them desiccated, we do our best not to desiccate them. We got right back home, and we got another bin on a floor here. We got one more floor left, one more bin to do. So the first thing I got to do, climb up and pull that there's a spider in there that goes down and then opens up like this and then lifts back up. To lift the bin up, I got to go and pull that out. Last time I let it all the way down, unhooked it, pulled it all the way back up. That took forever, so it'll be quicker to climb up. There's a bit of shrapnel around here that's got to be cleaned up. There's also, I got to move this out of the way. We're going to get a load of propane for the grain dryer. One sure way to make sure you don't have to dry grain is to set up your grain dryer. Now our grain dryer is already set up, but we didn't have any propane. We used the last little bit of what we had last year. So if you get it all set up and you fill up the propane tank, and then you get everything ready, you most likely won't have to dry much grain. If you go into the season thinking you're not going to dry any grain, and you don't set it up and you don't get no propane, you're going to dry every single bushel. It's that ideology runs parallel with, if you close up all your bin lids, it won't rain. If you leave them open, it will. If you walk back and double check your tractor to make sure that you got the lights shut off, they'll always be off. If you don't walk back and check them, they'll always be on. Things like that. Murphy's Law, if you will. So that's just how it goes. We do our best. But we are going to go try a little bit today, because thank you to social media, we get to see every day somebody somewhere is trying something. We're not yet. Like I say, we did swath our peas, so we've covered 300 and some acres of ground, but we don't have anything in the bin yet, nothing to show for it. So, and we are expecting 2 days of rain, and I'd rather them not get washed again. They got washed once. So, what I might do here, once I get this all tidied up, so they got to make room for that propane guy. I might make a few bags. There's a lot of dew. Rod combine with the dew on the ground, this will be no good. So I will I'll get the stuff out of the way for the propane truck, and then make a few bags, wait for that dew to get off the ground, hook the header up, and then Corey can take out the 9750, go test our barley out west, come back, test our wheat right at home, and then go from there. I think maybe you're going a little too fast.